So today I want to illustrate to you how easy it is to make friends and to build relationships and to make connections with people that are actually meaningful and can grow. And these same principles are used to make relationships better, to start new relationships, to make new friends. I like to say that I can make a best friend with somebody I've never met before while walking into an elevator before we hit the 5th floor. But let me paint the picture to you. We're playing this really expensive golf course, and I'm there with my 2 kids, my 8-year-old, my 10-year-old, my nephew who's 20, and my brother. And we drive up to the driving range, and there's a gaggle of people, and I mean a gaggle of people, and some of them don't look like they should be there. So you got to, first of all, you got to pay attention to the scene, the scenario that is happening, and look at the motives and motivations of the people around you. Just basically open your eyes, lift your head up, and pay attention. And so there's a cart full of people, and they're wearing what I like to call athleisure wear. So like not golf attire. They're not golfers. They don't have any intention of being golfers. They've probably never stepped foot on a golf course. And then their significant others, 3 young, strapping, young adults, and a father. And so anyways, just make note, no worries. We get to the driving range, and these girls are standing around watching their men do something. Looks like warm up on a driving range, but to somebody who's never seen golf, it's like one of the ladies says, is this what everybody does to warm up before they play? And because, I don't live inside a box, I of course chime in and I say, not everybody. I do it this way. And I lay down on the ground and flop my legs over to the side because that's how I stretch before I play golf. Anyways, it gets everybody a chuckle and just kind of points out that I'm not the same. I'm not living in your box. I'm not going to reserve myself only to myself. I'm open to chat with the world. Anyways, no thought of it. Well, my youngest son goes on the very left side of the range. My other son goes on the very right side of the range. So I have to stand back and take a look at both of them, make sure they're hitting the ball okay, and because they're going to have questions as soon as they start hitting. And I very intently, as I always do, give instructions to them across the range. No, just do this. No, other child, Jack, just do this. And so anyways, I just behave a little differently, and I get the guy's attention. So the girls leave, they head off. I think one of them said, okay, we're off shopping for the day. And so now you have to look at the situation. Here's a dad who has his 3 boys with him on vacation in a beautiful place, and now he has them all to himself. So when you look at the intentions of this guy, he is happy. He's got his boys, just his boys, no extras, no significant others, nothing else to worry about. He's got 5 hours of time just with his boys to hang out, which he probably doesn't get a whole lot of anymore because he's now in a life stage where his kids are grown, they've got other people, and the boys have no time for him anymore. They've got girlfriends or wives, maybe kids, I don't know, and so he's, you can see it on his face. He is excited to be here. Now he sucks at golf. He's topping the ball. He's terrible. But he's happy. He's there. His 2 of the boys were there beside him hitting. One was putting, and the 2 boys are hitting, and they were okay. And I kind of gave him a head nod on the way by, and he said, man, you got your hands full, trying to manage these 2 kids and giving instruction to my nephew who was hitting and trying to get things better. And I said, yeah, but it's amazing. He says, yeah, it is. And I said, I said to him, I'll bet you're going to have a great day today. And when I did that, my body language changed. I turned directly towards him. I got a little closer and said, you're going to have an amazing day today. And you could see the emotion welling up inside of him. He didn't cry or anything, but you can see the change. He says, yeah, it's going to be a good day. He says, and then he gets back reserved. He says, well, I suck at this. I'm going to play some terrible golf. But my pro kids are going to do amazing. Now, his kids weren't pros. His kids weren't great, but they hit it a lot better than he did. But it also meant that he is proud of his kids, and he's happy to be there with them. So you look at the situation and say, here's a dad with his kids, excited to be there and proud of his kids, and is probably thinking back, and now this is my interpretation, my thought. He's probably thinking back to, man, I loved being a father to these kids. I loved raising them up, and I don't get to do that anymore. And so I go hit a few balls, and then I hear him say to me, now we've opened up a line of communication. He says to me, this might be it because I'm not going to get grandkids. And one of the kids kind of laughs. He's like, nope, he's not. Oh, interesting. Okay, so now there's been some conflict in the family that they don't agree on. The kid doesn't want kids. The grandpa or the dad wants grandkids. He wants a legacy. He wants generational family, and he's not happy that he's not getting it, but he's okay with it. So he's just throwing in a little jab, and it's like, oh, interesting. Okay, so now here's a dad who loved being a father, who loved raising his kids, and wants to keep raising kids, wants to raise grandkids, but isn't allowed that because that's not his choice. That would now be his kid's choice. So I kind of chuckle. I chuckle with them. And then I walk back over to the dad and stand right in front of him. And I said, you know what? Just because you had kids doesn't mean that you built in or owed grandkids. And he laughs and he gives me a playful tap on the shoulder. He says, yep, you're right. I like this guy because I was able to illustrate a truth to him that meant something to him, that solved that problem. You know what? It's not his choice. He doesn't get to make the choice whether his kids have kids. And so playfully, I brought up truth. I brought up something that was meaningful to him. I read the situation, and I connected with him to the point where he immediately became my friend. I like this guy. And the son quipped back something funny, and I walked over to him, and I said, you know what? Being a father is the most amazing thing in the world, if you want it. And then he burst out laughing. He says, exactly. He says, right now, I like this guy. I just made 2 friends in 2 minutes on the driving range while correcting my nephew's swing, while correcting my kids' swings, while warming up myself for a round of golf that I was going to enjoy immensely. But I was able to read the situation, aka get your head up from your phone, look around, and pay attention to the world around you and the intentions and the heart attitudes behind what's happening around you. And then poke in there. Poke in there with laughter, with joy, with love, with care. Because I do care for this. I don't know this person, but I care for him. Here's a man who needs to understand that he's got it good. And he's got to enjoy it. So anyways... So we warm up a little bit more, and there were a couple of comments here and there, and they were ready to go for their tea time. So I went over to the dad, and I said, dude, enjoy today. And he said, I'm going to. This is going to be the best day of the year. Awesome. And they went off. Now, because of how golf works, they teed off on a different 9 than we did. We ran into each other 3 other times during the round. And each time we did, there was a meaningful interaction at that point. Because now 2 of those guys is like, oh, I'm actually invested in this person. I actually want to get to know this person. This is the seeds of friendship. This is the seeds of relationship. And if we keep pushing in this direction, we keep spending time on these things and keep pointing out what's important to people and being there with them and sharing that with them and enjoying life together with people. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about them enjoying their day. It's about them realizing what's awesome in life. It's about their choices in life and me being interested, genuinely interested in what they have to say, and offering insight to it in a playful and loving way. People love other people who make them feel good. So go make people feel good. And all of a sudden, you're going to be their friends. You're going to be their best friends. You make them feel good. Look, it's not about you. If you make relationships about the other person, about their joy, their happiness, their growth, then guess what? You're loved. It's not this person needs to give me this. I need to get this. I need to get this. I'm not getting what I want out of a relationship. It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with you giving to somebody else what they need in their relationship. It's amazing, but it's backwards to what we think today. We think, oh, well, I'm not getting what I need, therefore I'm going to get out of this relationship. Well, you're probably not getting what you need because you're not putting in what the other person needs. It's not an incoming relationship. You are responsible for your actions, so you need to be the person who's the amazing friend. And guess what? Once you do that, then the people around you become amazing friends. And it's weird. It's like, well, you're not giving me what I need. Oh, well, how about you try giving them what they need with no expectation of return? okay, with no expectation of return. It's not about what you get back. It's about what you're giving out. So go give out in a way that somebody else needs. And all of a sudden, the world around you is going to become your friends. I want to be the person who is going to be amazing for somebody else. That's what I want. And in that, they become the people who care and concern for me. I remember there was it was the end of the story. So we met a couple times around, and then at the end of the round, I asked the dad, genuinely, again, ran into him and said, "How was your day?" He said, "It was the most amazing day." And I went by the son. He says, how was that day with Dad? He says, "Dude, I want to do that again." Amazing. There's 4 guys together having an incredible day, and now my friends. I don't know their names yet. I may never meet them again, but it doesn't matter, because their day was just a little bit better because of what I could do. And that's where friendships start. An acquaintance of mine, who is now one of my best friends, reached out to me at one point and said, "Dude, you're weird. You're different. You're doing something different. Why are you living in different places and doing different things and living outside the box?" Because he could see it. And I explained it. I said, "Well, my view of success is a little bit different than everybody else's. I want to be a great husband. I want to be a great father. I want to do the things that I want in life. I don't want to be stuck behind a desk doing the things that other people expect of me or think that I want. I want to live the life that I want, not the life somebody else wants." Anyways, long story short, at the end of the conversation, now this is, again, he was an acquaintance, not a friend, a great friend at that point. I said, "Tony, man, I love you." And he was like, "Whoa, what is that?" Now, he didn't say anything. It's just, "So I'll talk to you later." And we hung up. Well, the next time we talked, which was like 3 weeks later, he's like, "Dude, why did you tell me you love me? That's weird." I said, "'Cause I do." "What do you mean?" "Dude, I love you. I love being around you. I love your character. I love what you're doing with your family. I love you. I think that you are an awesome person, and I want to spend more time with you." And he says, "I've never said this before to any other man, but I love you too." Whoa, cool and awesome, because now we are sharing a friendship connection that is deeper than just, "What did you do today?" Or, "Hey, how about those Packers?" Relationships are about more than what we have in common. It's about looking at our heart attitudes, building friendship, building connections, sharing the experiences that we have in life. When something amazing happens to you, what do? You want to share it with somebody. Well, hey, the more people who are closer to you, the more people you want to share that amazing thing with. See, we get overflowing with this love and joy and peace, and we want to share it with other people. So when our cups are full, when we choose to enjoy life, we can't help but share it with the world around us, and with the people who are closest to us around us. So, anyways, how to make friends with anybody instantly? Pay attention to what's going on. Watch what they're doing. Discern what's important to them at that moment, and poke in there with joy and love and humor and laughter and confidence, and risk looking like an idiot to make them feel amazing. You can make somebody else feel great. You're going to be their friend very quickly.